Seeing this mask, you probably assume we'd be discussing the history of mask wearing during Halloween or something along those lines, but this mask has a much deeper, much darker history behind it than your simple Halloween mask that you find at a store. This mask was actually worn by Corey Taylor, the lead singer of the heavy metal band Slipknot, which has gone throughout the world and become a heavy metal phenomenon. Now, some critics have written it off as utterly psychotic, and some critics have written off the band as nu metal garbage. I might agree with the first one because they do revel in their psychotic imagery through the usage of mask wearing and also the wearing of jumpsuits and just general insanity on stage, which makes them garner quite the vicious audience. Now, I hope to introduce y'all to the history of Slipknot and what really does make them so impactful in the heavy metal world. So let's begin, like any good success story, in Paul Gray's basement. Now, Paul Gray is the founder and bassist of Slipknot, and his first project was with a band called Painface, which he founded in 1992 according to Slipknot history. Then, the band we would come to know as Slipknot would officially form in Des Moines, Iowa in late 1995. This included legends such as Sid Wilson, Sean Clown Crahan, and Corey Taylor himself, who wouldn't join until a year after their debut, Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat, which was released in Halloween of 1996. Now, the same year that Corey Taylor joined the band, they also got their first record deal with Roadrunner Records. And then they were able to release their critically acclaimed official debut, their self-titled album in 1999, which blew audiences away with its striking intensity. And the jumpsuits and masks, as I mentioned beforehand, really helped them stand out in their early years, especially at festivals such as Ozfest. And in 2000, they made history by becoming the first band under Roadrunner Records to become certified platinum according to AllMusic. Now, speaking of Iowa, we have to talk about their sophomore work, Iowa. Iowa was not a great time, as the band was suddenly pushed into stardom and they didn't really know how to handle it, so they kind of embraced all the vices of the rock and roll life, such as drugs, sex, and alcohol. And Corey Taylor himself is later quoted with saying, "There was nothing happy about Iowa," according to Slipknot history. And this is quite evident in the music itself, with the opening track having Sid wailing into the mic after his grandfather passed away. And then in the closing track, Corey Taylor himself cuts his hands with glass shards and is naked and throwing up all over himself while recording. So, needless to say, after that experience, the band needed some time off and broke up to pursue solo projects, with Corey Taylor later reviving his solo band, Stone Sour. Now, despite planning to break up, Slipknot managed to come back together in 2003 to record more music in the Houdini Mansion. And despite excessive drinking, Corey Taylor was able to produce with the band Volume 3, The Subliminal Verses in 2004, and All Hope Is Gone in 2008. Now, these albums were not as intense as their previous works, which was a bit controversial amongst the fan base, needless to say, but it produced many hits, such as Duality, which propelled them into global stardom and truly made them a global phenomenon. Now, all of this came to a halt in 2010 when bassist and founder Paul Gray was found dead in an Iowa hotel due to a drug overdose, according to AllMusic. Now, he was only 38 when this happened. Corey went completely sober after this, and in 2014, the band managed to come back together to record .5 The Gray Chapter in honor of Paul Gray. Now, the album tackled survivor's guilt, and it also tackled how they coped with the loss, and it embraced the heavier sound from their previous albums whilst mixing melodic elements to truly create a unique sound that many fans re-embraced from the band. Then, they further embraced this new style with their critically acclaimed We Are Not Your Kind in 2019, which found various critical success throughout. Now, unfortunately, in 2021, their original drummer, Joey Jordison, was also found dead due to an illness that caused him to separate with the band in 2013 due to being unable to play the drums. So naturally, the tragedy of Slipknot continues, but they were icons despite all of this, and they were able to utilize this dark history to achieve a new sense of growth personally and musically that you don't really see a lot of the time in regular average bands. And whilst this mask right here may be a bit off-putting and frankly terrifying, it means much more than a simple Halloween mask, and I hope y'all can see that.